You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Hour, the show that brings you unfiltered stories and insight from the Twin Cities real estate world with your hosts, Chris Rooney, broker at RE/MAX Preferred, and Andy Presky, leader of the Preferred Home Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Hey.
Am I your special guest?
Yeah.
And I'm the only one on here. Wow.
Brandon Holmes is keeping Andy quite busy.
Andy in bed.
Didn't you?
Andy.
Talked about it, though. You guys talked about it. He's doing some Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with the builders, and then all the Parade of Homes on the weekend. I mean, this is not easy for an agent, no?
Oh, well, I bet you he's glory right now, because it used to be you have to do it on Thursdays as well from 12 to 6, but there's just nobody that ever came. And they cut that out, which is so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's at least that's 6 hours. That's a big deal. Rather than 24 hours on the weekend, it's 6 hours, or it's 18 hours.
Yeah, I remember doing that though. I went to the Thursday ones. Yeah.
Yeah, we put you in the hot market ones, that's for sure. Actually, you were in COVID.
Yeah, but there were still a lot of people that came through there.
Yeah, we did have a lot. But we haven't done a parade here for now going on 2 years. They're just good enough that they don't have to use a parade to get deals, which is very unusual and good, but good for them. So,
what else is happening in this market until Andy gets in here?
It's busy. Oh God, hold on a second. Now I have to. I get texts all morning long. So market is generally it's good. We were able to get an offer in last night that was only been on the market like 6 days, and they had just reduced it, because that's what's happening is that if people aren't selling, hey Andrew, if people aren't selling like right away in the first weekend, they start getting nervous, like what's going on. And also there's opportunities within that. So we were able to probably get this was after a reduction after 6 days. We were still able to get our closing costs paid for and a couple other things. So it was, it's kind of nice that 5 to 7 day listing time frame. Have you seen that, Andy, where people are getting a little nervous? I know my sellers have said it.
I just saw you were talking about some of my listings. I was like, what? Hey, thought you're talking about my customers, man.
No, I wouldn't do that.
It's always nice to kind of come in a couple minutes behind you, because then I have to play the guess. It's like a game for me. I have to say, what is he talking about? What is he? Because you guys have zero patience. So apparently 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock for you guys, and it's not 8:03 like I think it is.
You got it. Here, I'll even give you this.
You're Latino, Andy. You're a Latino.
Oh my! At heart,
not an hour, 2 hours late, but
no. And I bring my whole family. It's like, hey, come on. Yeah, I actually had years ago. I had a customer of mine kind of enlighten me on the whole culture and how it's relaxed and it's family based, and I was like, this is really cool culture, and so I subscribe to it. So I'm sorry, Chris. I probably screwed you up. You were talking probably brilliantly about something.
Well, we're just saying, number one, I was introduced as a special guest today, even though I've been on this damn things. Before you were, but now I'm just a guest. And then I get here, and then I'm the one that is the only one here. And so I was just wondering if Andy got lost at the Parade of Homes or something happened.
Hey, Andy Presky here. Are you looking for Inver Grove Heights? You want a beautiful Rambler in the mid 500s? Come on in. Inside the Lakewood model, one of my favorite features is the kitchen. Check out this awesome island. Plenty of room for the whole family to sit around. This kitchen has the granite countertop. You've got the stainless steel, really awesome custom cabinetry. And what's really neat is right off the garage, and the pantry's right there. So those groceries, easy in, right out of the car. Come on in and check out the primary suite. This house has a beautiful pan ceiling here. Right in here, we have your walk-in closet. You have your own private bath there with 3/4. You got the shower, double vanities, tile floors, granite countertops. Amazing property. One of the fun features of this model too is that it's located right on the Inverwood Golf Course. One of the benefits of a Rambler is the huge basement. Can you imagine all of the potential you could do with this unfinished space? Well, guys, okay, that's the tour of this Eternity Homes Lakewood model. Swing by this weekend, say hi, or send us a message. We'll get you as much information as you want. Thanks again.
This is Andy P.
I don't know what just happened there.
This is Andy
Call
P.
me Andy P, baby.
I'm telling you what,
Hey,
Andrew.
you got it? Chris, I'm telling you. Okay, now, hey, wait a minute. Hold, time out, big boy. I want you to run Karin's video now.
Hi, my name is Karin Mindak, and I'm here to show you my first lake home flip on the shores of Prior Lake. I've always loved design and staging, but really wanted to jump into the thick of things and get this one done for the spring market. Come have a look at our home right here.
Door's locked.
Oh. And this view.
All right, what are you doing?
Well, Tim asked me to unpack the fridge. I have to do everything. Oh, painting is my favorite to do on site. How do I get into this? It's all nice and labeled in here.
All right, stop.
I am sure she will be just fine.
Oh, I can't wait to get back to work and show you my first lake flip.
Oh, bravo, director.
Wait till you see there's part 2. She's got to come back from that now. And it's all in the works. But I'm just saying, I'm so glad you're doing those other videos because my production skills are just rising. And you're one of my people that I know I could work with and do a really good job for. Now
I gotta be honest with you. I was watching that video because I watch all videos for you guys, and I'm like, I like this. They got good stuff. And all of a sudden I'm watching this and I see her put the scissor towards the electrical panel, and I'm like, oh my God, Chris, what are you doing? And all of a sudden, boom.
Totally. It'll all come together on the next one. It's kind of
if you actually listen really closely, I'm sure you did, but when the helicopter's taking off, you can hear screaming going, ah, ah.
Hey, that's your little friend on the other end there.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I tell you, man, in today's market, it does require a little more creativity to get a little more attention. And, all ego set aside, all whatever, if you provide a little entertainment value, those videos will get watched. And that is, just watch your numbers. I mean, it's crazy how the more entertaining the video and the more quick punching it is, it seems to be the better the videos perform. And hey, at the end of the day, our job is to get these sellers exposure. So you get the seller exposure, people look at the property, they're like, they might think that we're being goofy, but at the end of the day, if they come out and see that property and they normally would not have.
Isn't it funny how we would do those social media reacts? We've been doing them for over a year and kind of like, okay, that's stupid. That's dumb. Why would they do this and this and that? And then all of a sudden it's like, because it does engage them. And ultimately what it is, and I know it is for you and I don't know about the other ones, but it is to ultimately get our listings and clients and their opportunities seen more.
Right. For sure.
So,
it's just interesting because I always say to everybody, we had this whole meeting yesterday, talking about sales and just in general, real estate as a whole. And I was like, so if you're driving down the road, what grabs your attention? Is it a billboard? Is it a bus bench? Is it, the radio jingle? And I said, a lot of people say, well, I don't even really hear anything anymore. I'm just driving down the road and I'm listening to a podcast. Or I stream my music and I go, okay, so that's one revenue stream taken away. I go, you see a billboard, but it doesn't have a number and it doesn't have any way to call action. So then it's just, you have to see it repetitively to remember it, right? So then it's impressions. And I go, but at the end of the day, where are your customers? Where are their eyeballs? at the end of the day, they're online. There's no argument. It's like their eyeballs, when they get 20 minutes at work and they're screwing around, they're flicking through Instagram or TikTok. They're looking for entertainment. And oh, by the way, if by in the back of their mind they're thinking real estate, you give them a little entertainment, a little real estate, you might have yourself somebody giving you a buzz. But yeah, it's an art to it for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of fun too. It's also the creativity part. I mean, and what we have to use every day to try to market our properties, but kind of bringing it down another channel as well. So
yeah, of course. Well, and I think that you and I, who knows where we'll be in 5 years or 10 years with marketing. But I think that, and God bless we're around. We pray to the Lord above. We pray Jesus. We survive.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
Where we'll be in 5 or 10 years? I said dead.
We've read the stats, and that's possibly very true. We know our lane, and it's dangerous.
Andy, I just hit the average age of a realtor. Finally, after 34 years,
well,
I'm now the average
on
age of a
being
realtor.
average.
Huh? Yeah, I'm average now. Oh,
Finally, you're brought down.
took me 34 years to get to it, but
oh my God,
I'm there finally.
I tell you what, though, I am starting. I've got a group of mortgage people that I've been working with that are younger, and by choice, by intention of trying to see, hey, what is that younger mind? What is that right? And I'm actually, really pleasantly surprised. I see, at least in the group that I'm working with, tons of drive, tons of creativity, tons of ambition to want to be successful and do whatever it takes to make it. I always thought, all these younger kids, they don't care, because that's what you always hear. And then you kind of start believing it. Not true at all. But the marketing is completely different. It is a very short attention span clientele, and the convenience is usually rivaled over top of profession. So meaning, is it available? Can I go see it right now when I want to see it? Convenience. And I don't think enough of that first-time buyer, second-time buyer have gotten burned yet on that, because to be honest with you, the Wall Street big real estate firms like your Rhymes with Willow kind of companies have commoditized
Zillow.
Yeah, they've commoditized this to where they want you to think, hey, anybody can do this. Anybody can. But here's what I'm going to tell you. And I say this with trying to help people perspective. When you click on anything, they're making money. And if it's not for the impression, they're going to sell your name, or they're going to make a cut of whatever you buy. And the reality of it is that all of those systems are built off of full 7% commissions. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. Let's say that you're clicking online, and now when you click online and you say, I'd like to see this house, it says, whoop, you have to be under contract with us, and you have to agree to make sure that we get paid 2.7%, or we're not going to show you this house. Well, guess what? Those people now will call the listing agent. The listing agent now will say, okay, come on in. And because if they split commissions, like we were talking about earlier, like with NAR and all this, I tell you what, man, it's only going to get uglier, and it's going to get more complex. And so these internet lead companies got to be very careful what they wish for, because I'll tell you, the consumer thinks it's easy and they're giving them good data. But at the end of the day, you're going to have a subscription to pay for that data, or you're going to have to agree to the terms that you're going to use one of their salespeople to buy something so that you get those resources for free, which isn't really free.
I'll tell you the other thing too, is that this whole commission thing and unrepresented buyers are, and if you truly represent just a seller and you don't represent a buyer, it's horrible. I mean, it's really bad to be able to get them through the whole transaction. I mean, it's going to be listing commissions will go up for sure, because of all the extra work you have to do just to try to keep the deal together. Because if you don't, and they don't know what it is, and at every whim, they're going with the wind and taking off. It's like, oh my God, I mean, how many times have you seen, Andy, that we've had people constantly switching lenders and trying to switch lenders because, and to no really fault of their own, they don't know. But when your credit report gets pulled, those credit agencies then sell that to a bunch of mortgage companies. I had one person told me they actually counted up 79 calls they got. I was at a closing last week. The lady was still getting calls. One came through at the closing. And she
Well,
just,
again, think about that for a second, Chris. So you're now a big company like Rocket Mortgage or whatever big company you want to pick on that's nationwide, right? How do they get to know you as a consumer? They have to advertise to you, be tricky, or they have to buy lists where when you're at the right time, at the right place, they hammer you and they tell you what you want to hear. And all of a sudden, by gosh, they're selling stuff. And that's why they're the number one or the biggest, I guess, mortgage company out there. Or they were. I don't know if they still are, but there's a reason why. They put themselves at the right place at the right time. They pay dearly to do that, but it's a very expensive way to do business. But
interesting.
Yeah, I think so too.
So what do we got, Nick? Minnesota bill. We got a Minnesota bill here that limits ownership of single-family rentals. Nice. Why wouldn't they do that? It's just so smart. Would regulate the number of single-family homes a corporate entity or a group of investors could purchase with the intent of turning them into property. So they're talking about our little, our big little REITs and investor groups. Well, that's kind of interesting.
Just get your face or your nose out of this business. Just let us.
So it says you can only own 10 homes. You know what they're going to do? I mean, it's so ridiculous, some of these things, because it always turns out. So one entity can only own 10 homes. Well, they're all going to have 150 entities then. At 10 homes apiece, they're going to get 1,500 homes. I mean, there's always ways around all of this stuff. And they're eventually going to do it. The money finds its way. They're going to do it. They always do. You know, it's like the tax thing. Everyone's, oh my God, he didn't pay taxes. He didn't pay taxes. They don't have to pay taxes. That's what the tax laws say. If they didn't pay taxes, they would be in jail. You know, but that's what the tax laws do. I always talk about my apartment building. I had one right next door. We accepted Section 8, got higher rents. The other place was in a lot better shape. I got $400,000 more than they got. I mean, how does that work? You know,
it's crazy to me. And I tell you, I've sat there for years and looked at the stats of what and how things are evaluated and what. Like yesterday, I was just looking at an investment property for an individual. We were looking at putting it on the market, and there's no comparable sales because all the sales have been off market. So what happens is, and then all these commercial brokers are no longer posting or recording these sales. So now you have to go to the county to actually see what is sold and for how much. So you have to really dig deep to do this research. And what it comes right down to is it comes down to revenue. And Chris, you know this. I mean, how much revenue does it, generate? Is it currently under contract? I mean, heck, the banks won't even finance a lot of people unless they have leases in place. So these sellers sometimes are trying to say, okay, well, we just got rid of all of our tenants so we can list the property so you can see it and you can whatever. And I'm like, that may not help us because now we're kind of limited to cash buyers or really leveraged, well-leveraged buyers that have assets to back up loans. And I said, you're limiting your audience. Your best audience is always going to be the consumer. They'll pay more because they're not as dialed in on, I need a 6.5 or an 8% cap rate like some of these REITs or big investors will require. So anyway, it comes down to where, you have to just look at what is the return on investment, how much red tape, how much regulation, and what is the risk? So if all of a sudden we all sit there as investors and think, hey, someday Mother Russia here, the way they're running this country, with this communist kind of perspective on things, and all of a sudden you can only have so many because that's all you deserve. And all of a sudden, hey, it limits values.
Here's the next thing, Andy. You can only get this much rent.
Right.
Well, they start regulating that. That'll be the next thing. It's just,
of course.
So you kind of got to watch what you do. I mean, now it's everything. I mean, you used to think, geez, hey, it's the American way. I can do whatever, and I can do this, and now they try to jump in on everything, and it's just it's got to crack at some point. It has to.
I would hope it would, but the other side of that is like they the rent's too damn high. Remember that guy that was doing all that and talking about how like New York City, literally a closet with a toilet in it was like $3,000 a month, and he goes, I can't even afford to have a normal job and live there. And I go, well, then what you do is you move out of that city, and this is how you teach people how what the market will bear. They're showing you the top of the bearable market, and people are suffering and struggling to stay there. Move. I mean, if you don't control the game and you're just a side effect of the game, change the game by moving. Go to New Jersey, go to wherever. I mean, get to where all of a sudden the affordability is good, good money, housing's affordable, and people, we can never move. Then yes, you are unfortunately then in that situation, you're stuck.
Yeah, I'm getting, right now I'm going to focus on being negative, and I don't want to be. So let's be positive. What's next?
Go ahead, be negative. I like it.
We are getting ready to list our house and search for a new home. The buyer's agent I used to buy our first house has kept in touch over the years, almost 5 years. Cards, events, newsletters. Good agent. That's a good agent.
Yep.
We have mutual acquaintances, but we are not friends, just a professional relationship. But I'm thinking about using another agent for this time, both listing and buying at home. How do I break up with my old realtor? I think she was counting on getting our business the second time. That's it? You know what? Why don't you give her the opportunity to find out why you're thinking about going another route? And maybe she has some alternatives for you to be able to kind of help you through. But I mean, just because agents have kept in contact with you doesn't necessarily mean they're the right person to sell your house and to buy one. I mean, if you feel there's a neighborhood expert that's getting all the deals and that they're going to, be able to represent you on the next one, that's totally up to you. I just think it's wise to just be able to talk rather than just kind of do it behind them and be honest. And most agents, it's not the first time any of us will have been through that.
Yeah, and I'd come down to this. I would say that is a perfect example of today's consumer where they don't see the value in what you've done for them. They don't see the value in the fact that you set them up for success. Because of that success, you've made $300,000 of equity in that house, and they're just going to kick it to the curb because I think I like this person better. What a fool. I would go back to the gold, man. Why do you want to reinvent this wheel? If you already have somebody that produced for you, that actually made your situation fruitful, I think you're an absolute fool not to go back to that person. 100%.
Let me ask you this, Andy. What if that person works in Edina and they sold the house to him because they were probably a first-time buyer, and it was in Champlin. Yep. It was Champlin. It was a neighborhood that Andy Brasky sells quite a few different houses in. And they met Andy at an open house and felt like, gosh, that Andy's a really good guy, and I think he's got some really good ideas. You should see him on video. I mean, he talks about primary suites and everything. And sorry.
I'm sorry I keep offending you by saying that.
I know. But anyways, it's politically correct, though, Andy. I think maybe it's realtor correct.
Polite.
Oh, that's polite. Okay. But anyways, why should they have the ability to be able to go to someone who they think is going to maybe get them more money and represent them better on the next one?
Let's take it a different example.
They used 5 years ago.
So a couple years ago, you were faced with a very serious medical condition. A doctor diagnosed you, a doctor fixed you, a doctor put you back into good health, and now that condition returned. Why would you go to another doctor? If you've already had that good care, you know what you can expect.
If it returned, why they didn't cure it the first time? I would check with another doctor.
That's not how medicine works.
Okay. But I'm just saying, I would think, but let me ask you this. If that same situation happened and they said to you, Andy, well, we worked with an agent 5 years ago, we'd really think you're probably the right guy to list our house and to sell us a new one, what would you tell them?
Well, what do you think I'm going to tell them? I'm obviously looking for business. So, and I don't care about somebody else's kids. I care about my kids. So I'm going to be like, oh my God, yeah, the competitive side of me kicks in and says, here's how I'll do better process for you in this situation. I try to differentiate myself from what they had. I listen to what they're saying, and I try to put wedges in there so that they want to move forward with somebody that will help them better. Now, is that right? Sure, for me, not for them.
If I bought, why is it not for them? You don't think you're a better agent than the other person?
Well, I am.
I'm just saying. So if you bought something at Home Depot 5 years ago, can you go to Lowe's? I mean, if I really like Caribou, can I go to Starbucks?
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, I think what I would do is maybe I would go back to Caribou and just say, you know what, guys? Here's what I'm thinking about doing. I just want you to know you did a great job for me. You got me into this house. I really feel Andy is the professional in this area. He sells, a lot of homes here. And, I like what he does. And then let that agent be able to defend themselves, So I don't think just because I sold you a house 5 years ago is the reason enough that someone has to use me again. I don't think. I hope I did. I hope I encouraged them, and they felt good enough the first time that it was.
So let me point out a couple things. So you're saying that marketing after a sale doesn't matter. That following up with people or how good you treat somebody doesn't matter.
What did I say after that first sentence? What did I say after that first sentence?
You did a great job, but I'm not going to.
That's a great realtor.
Well, then why, other than stroke your ego and make yourself feel better as a seller, why do you need to torment that other agent and say, "Hey, I'm picking somebody else"? Because all that does is gets them emotionally upset with you, and they're like they feel like they have to defend themselves. There's no advantage to that existing agent other than pride, saying, "Oh, well, they really like me, but they didn't like me enough to use me again." And so I tell you, I don't take that maybe the way you do. I don't take that.
You'd rather have them just do it and not talk to you ever again?
Yes.
Really?
Well, why do I need to know that they picked somebody else instead of me? What's the advantage? How do I grow from that? If I truly did a good job,
you'd want to know why. Why did they?
If I truly did a good job and I truly worked my ass off and I truly made them money, I set them up for success, and they didn't want to use me, all I think is they're idiots. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh my God. Oh, what?
You don't think that? So if you did a good job, okay, Chris. So
I would look at it this way. I would look at it like, okay, now I understand it. And you know what? This did happen to me a long time ago. And I said, that will never happen again. Yeah. And here's what I didn't do. And what my problem was is I didn't keep in contact with them. Think about this,
Chris. Okay, so let's use that example again. So Chris Rooney was fantastic. He helped me sell my place in St. Louis Park. He helped me buy a house right on Prior Lake. Helped me even line me up for everybody so I could fix the house up and sell it. And now I'm up and I'm going to make $500,000 in selling it. But I'm moving to Champlin. So I'm going to have Andy sell it because he's bundling a deal. And then Andy's going to go up there and Andy's going to take better care of me because he knows what he's doing. Don't you feel there's some, I don't want to say the obligation, but I think that there is some, if you don't recognize the value that the Chris Rooney provided you by finding you the right house, the resources and the people to do that job, I think you're a fool. I really do.
What if they found someone better than Chris Rooney? If they felt it was better for them.
I don't see how somebody new, unless they just outsmarted the people, could show other than actual evidence of the real money in your checkbook that you're going to make. There's no better source of in my opinion, trust.
Right, and maybe they think that. And I think that's the same reason you might go from Home Depot to Lowe's, because Lowe's got a better deal. It doesn't mean you hate Home Depot and you might not come back later, but I think I just personally, I would appreciate that a client came to me and said, you know what, Chris, we're going to go another route. And I would say, well,
I get anxiety even hearing you say that.
Because Andy, the reason we're going with is Andy, you know, he sells a lot of houses up here in Champlin. He knows the area, and we really want to get in this one neighborhood, and we just feel he's the best one to do it for me. I'd be okay. I totally understand. If anything happens or whatever, I'd love to be here for you. I don't want to lose you, but I mean, if that's what you think, you have to do what you got to do. I mean,
I think I'm a little more.
Go to hell. Go to hell. I hate you. I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't do that either. But I'd fight for my business. I wouldn't just sit back and say it's okay.
But that gives you the chance. If they don't come and talk to you, you never get the chance to fight for your business, though. Just saying.
Well, it's different. So now we're changing the story a little bit.
Let's do a video on that.
If they were coming back to me objectively, saying, "Hey, listen, there's this other agent that's really offering this, this, and this," explain to us again, other than what you've done for us in the past, is there some new value propositions that you have that could enhance our future experience better than this new agent that we think would help us? That's different. Now you're objectively giving me a prop. I would love that opportunity. It's when somebody just says, we're going the other way just because.
But there's always there's always a reason. And it's our job, and I would look at it as my job that I should have found out what that other reason was. But I don't know. I guess it's like, hey, if they don't want to, they don't want to. I mean, next, we got to move on.
Have you ever noticed our personality types, Chris? I don't let things go. I'm very intense. And yeah. Well, hey there, Andy Prasky with RE/MAX Advantage Plus and the Preferred Home Team. Did you just retire? Do you have more space than you need? Are you maybe thinking about downsizing to a smaller home? If you've owned your home for a while now, chances are you've built up enough equity to buy the one that better fits your needs. Take a look at this graph here on how home prices have grown over time. As the data shows, if you've owned your house for over 5 years on average, and if you've been a homeowner since 1991, the value of your house has nearly tripled. If you've been thinking about downsizing, moving to your dream location, retiring to be closer to loved ones, get on the golf course, get on the lake, that equity that you've built up over time will help you make your move today. In fact, it may be enough, if not all of what you need for a down payment on your next property. So let's chat. I'm here to give you expert advice and support you along the way, ensuring that you'll have a smooth transaction. I'm Andy Prasky, here to help you on your real estate journey today. Give me a call and let's get that plan in motion. Why would you not call that guy back? Chris,
right,
I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to quit. I tell you what, you should see me negotiating. I will literally exhaust myself to death trying to make sure that this works for my clients.
Well, I don't. So, okay, I think we're going at this kind of two different.
I don't think so. I don't.
You
think
said you didn't want even them to talk to you.
No, you.
How are you going to negotiate them to death?
When you said, could they just switch and go? I said no. If you've already made up your mind, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want you to call me and give me the mercy. I'm breaking it with you. It's not you, it's me. I don't need to hear that crap. I want to know if you want to objectively call me and say, listen, hey, what can you do differently? Because we're really thinking this, and here you got 5 minutes to explain to us what you do differently. I'd say, great. Well, let me show you what I can do for you. And then at that point, if they still said, you know what, we're still going to go the other way. Thank you for all your past service. We appreciate you. I'd be like, great, no problem. Then I'd have no problem. I mean, if somebody was actually a better solution for them, which I would struggle with, but I can swallow that.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll leave it. We'll
Every
just go to
take a
this.
deep breath.
We'll go to this question. I have a house that I purchased to flip, and I didn't do my due diligence enough. And a registered sex offender lives right next door in a rent-to-own home. I'm now finished with the home and ready to advertise. When I show people the home, should I disclose this info? If you're in Minnesota, you cannot. I feel like I should, but I'm getting mixed reviews from friends and family members. I'm afraid the prospective buyer could come back and sue me down the road once they find out. There's a couple of things. First of all, you encourage them to look up the offender list. You can't tell them that there's a sexual offender in there. That's why we have it on. It's on the disclosure. It's on our
purchase agreement.
It's on. I mean, it's everywhere that we can't disclose or we can't discriminate against those people. So we just have to lead them in our agency. The first thing an agent's supposed to do is be able to tell people to be able to go look up on the registered offender list if they're worried about that and living next to that. So.
Yes, and I think that but you also your responsibility as a seller is not to disclose, because it's you have to disclose all material facts, whether they're a protected class. But in the purchase agreement, they put in there, go to this website, see if there's any sexual predators, see if there's any whatever. Go to this, the what is it, the Department of Corrections.
Corrections. Yep.
Yeah, and you can also see the records before you move in that area. So. I've had situations in the past where I had this exact situation happen where my seller was moving out of state, had another job, already moved, and I was kind of like here with this vacant house, and he was like, get it sold. So we're doing open houses, we're doing whatever, and as I was sitting there, one of the neighbors comes over during an open house and says, hey, this guy across the street did this, and this, and he lost his job and because of this, and now he, whatever, and so there was a bad situation. And it happened more than once. So it was a repetitive thing, Chris. And so now you got this guy across the street living there. I did an open house and I met this cocky person that was just rude. Like, listen, here's my offer. Take it by 4:00 today or I'm out of here and blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, this would be great. Here you go. Here's all. You review all your contracts. Since you obviously know more than the rest of us, read these up, sign what you want, get it over, I'll get it presented. And in the meantime, I had another couple come in. Nice couple with 3 kids. And I'm like, hey, great to see you guys. Make sure, and I circle, and I go, make sure you do this, before you decide to make that purchase. But otherwise, have a great day, guys. And they're like, they looked at me funny, and I go, and they literally, they became my customers. They called me and said, hey, thank you for helping us. Look out for us, even though you were representing the seller, not us as a buyer. And they became an actual client of mine, and they've bought 2 properties from us since.
Yeah. Agency relationships in a real estate transaction you bring up. And that's what I always say to beginning buyers is just like, hey, if you're worried about sex offenders, then go on this site and see where you want to live and don't live. I can't tell you. It's your thing. You can go and look it up and find it. And then it's their decision. But it is kind of like, I mean, I almost feel like this flip guy, you know, if he was on his own, he didn't have a realtor to kind of help him guide him to do that, you know. So kind of sad.
But, you know, that comes back to where I worry about people not, you know, with contracts. We're signing them on the hood of my car because you've never met me before, but you want to write an offer on this house, and you're signing stuff. You're not reading stuff. There's nothing being explained. And also you get the house, and then what do? Because technically you as a legal adult signed a contract that you didn't read and nobody explained it to you. And guess what? Nobody feels sorry for you. You can be mad, but there's nothing so I always say, hey, wouldn't you rather have somebody that actually cares about you and your well-being and your, you know, and I don't know.
I think I would also want to know I would want to know myself from a realtor standpoint, but sex offenders also are, because I've ran into these situations, but it's interesting when you talk about them because it's like they assault, molest, go after certain types of people too. So some people might like boys from between 8 and 12 years old, and some people only like kids under 5, and some like just women. I mean,
we never seem to make those lists, Chris.
No, yeah, they love the 50 plus old agents.
Yeah, no chubby chasers in there.
But it's I mean, because some people, I mean, you wouldn't even know, you know, it wouldn't be a threat at all to you. But obviously, right. If you have, you know, twin boys at 5 years old, you know, you should be concerned.
And I'll be honest with you. So let me ask you this question then. So, you know, and I obviously have a loaded question here. How do you feel like that is for resale value for that buyer? So that buyer comes in and says, you know what, that person doesn't bug me. I'm going to buy the house anyway. Do you think that helps or hurts, or do you think it limits their upside when they sell?
I don't know. Have you been in Minneapolis lately and looked on the site? I mean, it's littered with red dots and everybody. I mean, the whole city's got them. I mean, it's crazy how many there is. And it doesn't seem to affect those areas. I think maybe in your suburbs that it probably would. I mean, if it's Champlin and it's all of a sudden in your neighborhood where it's like everyone knows about it, in Minneapolis where, you know, 10 out of the 1 square mile are in there, you know, it's a little different. So I think it would depend where it's at.
There was a home not too far away from my house here in Dayton, where it was adult males that had been convicted of rape multiple occasions, and they were moving into a house. Basically, nothing anybody could do about it. It was just being an announcement. And I walked away from an opportunity to make a lot of money on a housing development because I didn't want it to be anywhere near my housing development. I was like, so we walked. So it affects guys like me, and it affects all my customers because I tell you, I think it absolutely makes a difference on your resale value. I think that people that do the research, or people like me that say, hey, listen, before we get too far into this transaction, make sure you do your research and make sure there's nobody in this area that you don't want to live by, because here's where you go, here's what you see. And if you see anything, let me know. And so for me, I don't know. I'm pretty transparent on that stuff.
Yeah.
With as much as I can be without the law being, you know, obviously violated, but
yeah, you can't. Yeah, we got to watch that.
So this is the new craze in real estate, is doing like your listing videos unique like this. So he's doing the John Wick thing, but during the whole time he's saying, oh, how many square feet it is. It's a pool home. I think it's pretty cool.
I didn't read any of that. I was busy watching what this guy was doing with knives and guns and giraffes.
I found out, Andy, that's the whole idea.
Ah.
The whole idea is to get you to watch it a second time or a third time. I was told that. You know how those videos like cut off and you're like, what the hell did I miss? And then you do it again. That's why they do it. But I don't know. I don't know if I could go that far on a house that with swords and guns, and I don't know.
Good.
Could you?
Hey man, you took it as far as somebody blowing up a house and having a helicopter. So I don't know, bro.
Hey, so is this more your flavor? This kind of video presentation?
Tony B here, Island White Realty. Sold. If you're interested in selling your house or your property, I'm your man. Just call 718-447-2100 and ask for Tony B. Island White Realty.
Yes.
That is more my style.
Hey, see that's why that Andy P comes in.
Call me Andy P.
Hey, it's Andy P. Seeing what you could do is you could be all these different types of things. You're a Russian, you're Polish, you're a mobster, you could do all that stuff.
We just have to be really careful which group we offend that can hurt us. And then
Do a mobster and say that same thing about that house.
Hey Zillow, I'm coming after you. You know? I got a problem with you, Zillow.
Zillow.
Hey, Zillows. What is that? Tony Baloney, the guy on those Jimmy John commercials? Hey, get that meat away from my money. I love Tony Balonovich.
I don't know that one.
Tony.
I didn't know he's there. All right, that was 417 East Schwartz in Edwardsville, Illinois. Thanks for taking a tour with me. Have a great day.
Just got a new idea on that one.
Oh my God. I love that one.
That is awesome. New intern. That's
I like
funny.
the one he goes to the light fixture. He goes. that was, see, to me now that was funny, but that I don't know who knows. I like that one.
Yeah.
I think the other guy, Tony B, I liked him because it was so silly. Hey, sold.
Sold.
You want your property sold? You call Tony B.
Tony
718. You call me. See, I like that. I don't know.
See, that's what I'm telling you on these videos. I can put you into character on all these things, Andy. But what I was really happy with, what I've been seeing your primary suite videos, is that you're willing to get out there and move on the camera now. And it's that's all we needed. Now we just have to. You would be more viral than anyone because of all the things you're able to do. I'm just telling you.
We'll see. Let me see if I can do a couple more. I think 3 more this week, so we got 3 more coming. But you know what's funny is that those videos far outperform everything else that we put out there.
Yeah, they always do.
They're double. And everybody's like, "Oh, listing videos never get attention." And I go, "This one does." That style's been really well for us.
Yeah, but you got to go next level. You got to add some of your funness to it.
So this is what's funny though, you guys. So as long as we're talking social media. So I posted a video last week on Instagram myself, right? Of my son and I, when he was 2 and he was talking, he's like, "Dad," and we were talking about Hannah, or he was probably 4. And Hannah was just born, our daughter, who's now graduating. She's in Cancun right now as we speak with her girlfriends. But we were talking and I'm like, "Oh, that's cute." I got 30, 40 likes or whatever. My daughter posts that exact same video on TikTok. She has over 700,000 views on that video and has 60,000 likes. And I mean, the video's gone viral. And it goes to prove it's the format, the style of video, and same video, different guy posting it on a different format doesn't go. So it's there's for sure an art to this.
See, that was personal, authentic type content. That's the big thing right now.
I know. And that's my problem is, and this is, be honest, Chris, you and I both are the same guy that way. We work our asses off. We love what we do. So this is kind of our hobbies and our job and our life. And so everybody's like, do something personal. I go, I am. This is what I do all the time. I mean, I literally don't have a lot of days where you see Andy scuba diving or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or out there, I don't know. Maybe I should have some more hobbies. Maybe this is an awakening for me, boys.
Hey, let's go into our luxury segment, though, okay? It's going to be brought to you by Chris Rooney Home Experts. Damn.
Yeah, baby. That's the one that Karin blew up, Andy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
At first, the video started playing, and I go, why is he showing this ratty old house with a rotten back door on it? And then all of a sudden it switches. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching, I'm going, this isn't luxury. This isn't Chris's style.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Okay. Oh, shady.
I thought this one was interesting because it seems like a pretty good price for Wayzata. So
yeah, square footage. Look at the square footage, 1260. So they're really kind of pricing a lot. But let's see the inside of that house to see if we can, if there's even an opportunity to make it bigger. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Look what they did right next door, the gray house.
Must be that little. Yeah. So it looks like you might be able to. You probably get a pad on it, construct what you have right next to it.
Yep.
Otherwise, you've got a cabin on Lake Minnetonka.
Jeez.
Which is that's a good little area. Well, it's nice. I mean, you could.
Yeah, no kidding. It's one of my favorites. Looks like they got an ocean blue lake behind there, which might be enhanced by Adobe.
No.
Little photoshopping there. Now that's better.
That
lake's not tropical.
Oh.
Funky, but not tropical.
Just say this was it 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom? 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
Yeah, I remember the 1260s, all I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, that one caught my eye right away too. It's just not huge. I mean, obviously this is not this is more of a lifestyle than luxury, but it's very, I mean, this is a great example of maybe, hey, I could grab something now and wait till I sell my house and then, think about, I mean, I could use it as a cabin for a while and then kind of design the house that I want long term and rip her down. So there is a basement on it. So that's a good lot. And hopefully it's not floodplain. Because a lot of times you don't get basements on a flat lot, and that looks like a flat lot. But that's definitely a basement.
So there must be a little elevation on that lot that we can't see from the photos.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a little hill. There we go.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
Because that basement, the lowest level of that basement has to be 2 foot above the 500-year flood line, which is, usually 4, 5, 6 feet higher than the lake. So even on a lot of those lots, you have to just go slab on grade versus, forcing a basement. But
yeah, it does sit up there a little ways. I mean, now with lake levels, I mean, everything's gone down so much. Prior Lake's down 5 feet, Andy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have ice on our lake up in Ida. I can't believe it. I was up there looking the other day with, or my kids were up there with my wife, and they said it's still ice last weekend. So it's got to be coming close. If Minnetonka's thawed.
Yeah. That's a definite opportunity to own a lot, but have a cabin in the meantime. Because I don't think a lot of people are going to pay $1.7 million to kind of have a cabin.
Was it $1.2 million? Wasn't it $1.26 million?
Yeah, because if you have a cabin, it probably wouldn't be in that spot. You'd probably be over Mound, Minnetrista, Halstead Bay, that type thing. Because it's
it
too
is
much.
$1.6 million. Jesus.
Yeah, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So let me see what that wording says. It says premium lake shoreline on Crystal Bay, 61 feet. See, they're totally focusing on the lot for sure. Well, that's right over by Lafayette Club. That's where Andy did his last speaking engagement.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Fletcher's, right by Fletcher's. Yeah, that's totally a lot buy. So it's been on for a little bit. And they're definitely trying to get a premium for that because it's not a huge lot, but there's lots that are selling for 8 to 10 million. But those are like estate type lots on Minnetonka. So I'm going to compare that to mine that I just totally remodeled. And it's only 1.1 million. I mean, what a deal.
1.1 fixed. Fixed
What's
up
that?
1.1?
Yeah, that house is 1.1, all fixed up.
Wow.
That's new windows, new siding, new roof, everything.
What's the water like in front of it?
74 feet level lakefront.
And then there's no weeds, or is it sandy? Is it, is it deep, shallow?
There's coral. Coral reefs and everything is beautiful.
Yeah. The reason why I started asking those questions is because I want to know, can I buy 2 sections of dock for $5,000, or do I need to buy 8 sections of dock for $47,000 and a lift for $30,000?
This one has a shelf. This one has a shelf right out from it.
Perfect. So short dock, you don't have to pain in the ass with all that sections of dock going out,
Exactly. Yep. No, it's actually really good. Have you ever heard of the Edmund Fitzgerald?
Yes.
It's right by there. Everyone thinks it was in Superior. It's not. When the glaciers came, it moved it down. Prayer Lake. Next to John Dillinger's bullets that were left at the old bloody, what was it called? Bloody. There was like 14 resorts, 12 or 14 resorts that were on Prayer Lake way back when. But John Dillinger came here. And that little island that was right across from that cabin was Twin Island. And they'd go over there. That's where they'd hide out.
Is anybody fact checking Chris, by the way? Anybody? Are we?
These are old wise tales. And so they're true. Folklore. It's called folklore.
That's like the I just sold a property up in Delwood, and so right by White Bear Lake, and you drive by the access to Manitou Island, which is out in the middle, and that was literally for a long time called Mob Island, where all of the gangsters owned houses, and there's one road access, and there was always a car with a couple of guys sitting in it right at the bridge, just making sure nobody comes out on the island.
If I walked up to that car and you were in that car and you rolled down your window, what would you say to me?
Looking for real estate because I'm your guy.
Would you say, how about in your mobster voice? What would you tell me?
Hey, you looking for some real estate? I don't know.
You really don't want to come on this island right now. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying we're having plumbing problems out here. We
Hey.
Yeah. It's bunch of fat naked people out here. You don't want to come out here.
Hey, last thing here. I just learned that my real estate agent is cousins with the seller. What do I do? So the agent didn't tell him. He found out himself.
Ooh, they
should state that they're related to the seller. Now at some point, if it's your cousin's first wife's sister's brother's husband, you're not really related to them. But we're supposed to state from a realtor perspective, just disclose. It's not a problem. Just let them know. But whether
if it happens too late in the process, I would smell foul, and I'd be like, are we sure we got the best deal possible? Are we sure we got the best terms? Because there's a complete conflict of interest here. Because if
they misrepresent,
where they're just like, oh yeah, it's a good deal. Come on, it's a good deal. Yeah, come on, hey.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was my John Travolta. Hey, it's
John
a good
Travolta.
deal.
Hey, do a video of doing the John Travolta dance. I want to see if you can do that, if that would work.
No.
I need to know your capabilities, Andy.
Very limited.
No. Okay, so you were saying, you're talking about you don't go out and surf and do this and do that and whatever.
Okay.
But what you do, I mean, your life
You
is
said doo-doo.
no, I'm just saying that your life is kind of like more exciting in 2 hours than in most people's year because of what happens to you and what you say and how you do things and whatever. That's the things that you should be throwing out there.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been around you a long time. I know. I'm positive.
Okay. Well,
Positive.
I think it's gets normal real fast around me. But you're right. I do probably tick a little faster than the average person.
Oh, really? That's the crazy thing. It's like completely sober. This guy doesn't need anything to help him.
I'm not even eating sugar anymore. I'm kind of cutting back on the sugary.
Oh my God.
And I love sugar. Sugar is my friend.
Wow. Impressive.
Any final words, Andy? Come to your homes. You got a pitch?
Oh, the Parade of Homes this weekend is we're out there. We got properties up in Blaine. We have properties in Centerville. And then I'm kind of to the south now too. I have some properties down in Inver Grove Heights that the builder has bought the interest rate down to 4.9% on a 30-year fixed. And these houses are ready to close. You can come through, take a look at them. We can write an offer contingent upon the sale of your house. No problem. Make it easy. So if you're looking for easy transition, and this lot, I don't know, Chris, are you familiar with Inver Grove Heights?
Yes.
Yeah. So just right down 52 there. Yep. Just north of like 55, and just a great little spot. What blows me away about Inver Grove Heights, you guys, is that it sits there in an area where you think, oh, this would be totally populated and overbuilt because it's so close to St. Paul and the airport, and it's not at all. It's like lots of open spaces, lots of mature trees. It's very nice. I really have learned to appreciate that area.
Awesome. Hey, can I say something about mine? Okay. Lakeshore. I've got a bunch of Lakeshore stuff coming. A couple on Prior Lake. I got on that island I was telling you where Dillinger was. You might be able to find a bullet at this place, but it's a little cabin, totally redone, super cool, $550. I've got a lot coming up. You don't get lots. Hey, you should talk to someone Andy, about a lot that they could build on Lower Prior Lake, under $1 million. Any size pad you really want. It's a good one.
How wide is the lot? Do you remember?
What's that?
How wide is the lot?
Well, it's a flag lot. So where you'd build is you'd have over 110 feet for a pad width-wise.
Are you in the front of the flag or the back of the flag?
You're in your back. The Lakeshore is 54, and then it comes all the way up and then expands up.
Okay.
I'll send it to you, but
yeah.
And then from cabin house that you just saw transfer 1.1. I've got another walkout Rambler at 150 feet. I've got a couple other Ramblers coming, kind of under 1.5. Got one to come in Clearwater, Long Lake in Clearwater. You know where that is, Andy? That's a nice
I stop in there. I used to stop in there. I like sugar at the truck stop there and get nice big rolls.
Yeah, exactly. Huge. They have monster rolls, but that one's going to be probably under 500. That's a good one. And then on even Orchard Lake, got one 575.
Jeez, look at you, man.
Got a lot of lake shores coming.
Yeah.
I'll talk about acreage next time because I got lots of that.
It is. I think what you're going through is kind of what I've been feeling too, is where the market's just starting to wake up, and I think people are very satisfied. Like the rates don't seem to be bothering them as much. It's like they're, even though they were, I don't know, it's been 18 months since rates really kind of, it was October, we had the 22-year high or whatever it was. But since then, it's kind of normalized. People still have good jobs. People have big deposits. They have equity they're putting towards those purchases. So the rates don't affect them as much. And then I think everybody's still under the same, belief that in the fall, the rates are going to soften as the election gets closer, mysteriously.
Yeah. Well, I just was talking to a banker. He was telling me a 7-year jumbo is 6 3/8 again. So that's good.
Yeah.
Keep them going, baby.
But hey, it was great getting the boys back on. It was nice. Everyone else, click our links. The link tree has both our websites. Give us a subscription on the YouTube, likes, thumbs up, and buy a house from us. Ciao, ciao.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us this week on the Real Estate Radio Hour. Don't forget to visit our website, realestateradiohour.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast listening app. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or sharing us with a friend. Until next time, stay awesome, Twin Cities.